Good morning, I'm Lynn, that's Arnie, and over there we got Buddy trying to get in the corn bin. And luckily we noticed him doing that because there he goes. We could get him locked in there. Let's go see what he's up to before we start the day.
Buddy, what are you doing, buddy?
What are you doing, buddy? We don't want you in the corn bin. Buddy, what are you doing up there?
He runs the whole yard, eh?
What are you doing in there? We could lock you in and not know you're there. We could run you through the auger. Okay, just go grab him out now.
I think he'll just come out then. Hey, buddy.
Buddy,
Buddy, come on now. No, that's okay.
come and
Let
get...
go.
We'll go give you some real food. Yes, cat food. Yes. Buddy. We're trying to get the bottle babies on the bottle holder. Usually I have the most success in the morning because that's when they're the most hungry. And I walked away to get my camera and left a whole bunch in here. And you can see that a lot of the bottles are empty now. You'd think it would be natural for them to just go take a bottle off the feeder because I've been feeding the bottles by hand. But animals don't. They want to have the interaction. They want to be held and stuff. They will eventually get the bottle holder. But even if you look at, there's a psychological experiment where they had monkeys that were being raised by like a bottle holder like this, and then with a bottle holder but that was fluffy and warm and cozy when they nursed off it, like it seemed like a real mom, and the monkeys much preferred that bottle holder, and they'd snuggle up with it and everything because they're not just looking for nourishment, they're looking for comfort and loving as well. So bottles are very cold, and at first when I start them on a bottle, I'm holding them to feed them the bottle, and then to get them to go on this, they aren't so keen. They do eventually, but it is a learning process. They don't want to be on a machine or a bottle holder or whatever. This is the Suffolk Pregnant group. A lot of them are still a ways away, but then a lot of them are really close. So they're due in a couple of days now to start. Kind of worried about this group because of that terrible moving day and the stresses under them. I see a few laying down. Makes me worried that they didn't take the stress very well. But a lot of them are chewing their cuds, so we're hoping it went okay. But really, you shouldn't be moving sheep that close to lambing. But in the past, our sheep, we've opened the gate and they just walked across, especially the Suffolks. Never seen them do that ever. And yeah, wasn't good. It was highly, highly stressful on these sheep. And you know, you want things to be quiet right before lambing. So I feel really bad that we did that. And yeah, it was just the unexpected, but I guess you should always expect the unexpected, and then nothing will go wrong. Hi, sweetie. This is the group that should be lambing. These are the ones from the last group, and we've got enormous udders in here, just ready to pop. So, right now, doesn't look like anyone's doing anything. But this is the group that should be going first. This is the next Suffolk group that's going to go over to the barn. And everybody looks good and quiet in here, and nobody looks stressed out. Do you look stressed out? I don't think so. This mom, she's the one who had 3 little tiny triplets. I checked her history, and all the comments on her in the past were good. She lost 2 of them. Like, they died within a few hours. She kept another one, and she was in the misfit group for a little while because of her lamb being small. But right now, because he's the only lamb and she's got good milk, he's one we brought over. It's him right there. And he's actually a little chunky guy now. And he's caught up really nicely. Like, he fits in with the size of all the younger lambs. He's a little bit older, but not a lot. So at least there was one good thing in that. And everyone's wanting me to name her lamb, but I'm really reluctant to name this lamb yet because I don't know how long she'll be here. She's doing remarkably well. Yeah, we're talking about you. Mommy loves her. She loves Mommy. Last night, we couldn't find her again. And Mom was laying down, and we thought, oh, she's on the little lamb. But the little lamb was snuggled tight in her armpit, probably for warmth and comfort. And she wasn't being sat on at all. She was just snuggling with Mom, because Mom really is proud of her little lamb. And like I say, it's doing well. But it has to stay in this jug because in the pens, for sure, other sheep are just going to not see it and run right over it. And that'll be that. In the jug, there's the same risk, but it's only 1 sheep, not a whole bunch of sheep. So her chances are much better in here. So we're going to keep her in here until she grows to the size of a regular newborn, and then we'll shift her over, and then we'll probably give her a name. And yeah, I guess I should mention it. These are our jugs now. We went from jug overload to all the jugs along the wall are empty now. They're all limed down and ready for the next wave, because it is going to be a wave now. Whenever things slow down totally, because we had no lambs last night again. It's weird. Every day that it goes to nothing, you know it's going to double up somewhere else. So the pens are all prepped and ready to go. We've got a few mums that are still in jugs that we're watching over. So it's the little lamb we're watching. This girl over here, she's 10. She's got some beautiful lambs. But again, because she's old, the milk supply is dubious, so I've got her in there still. This is a young ewe, the really unfortunate one, who has that kind of lump inside her nipple that we can't get out. So again, she's going to have to go into the misfit pen. But for now, they're comfortable here. So basically, all the lambs that are left in the jugs are ones that I'm watching. This is the mom that doesn't like her lamb. Well, she likes it just as a friend. That's about it. This mom will be going out shortly. She just had lambs yesterday, so her lambs will go out. There's nothing wrong with these guys, but she is extremely upset about the cats. So I don't know if you saw that if that showed up on camera, but Buddy walked by and she freaked out and tried to chase Buddy, which is fine, except if the lamb is standing there, because again, they'll run right over the lambs. They they don't have the mentality to understand that they have to be careful around their lambs and watch out for standing on them and stuff. So this little lamb here, the bigger one, has mastered nursing. This little lamb wants to try but misses all the time. So I'm going to just manually try get him on. So I got the little ewe lamb on. I want to talk quietly. Mom's chewing her cud, looking at the other one. This one took a while, but it's on there now. And if you put your fingertips along the side of the nipple as it's drinking, you're able to see if the milk is flowing or not. Because sometimes lambs will latch on and they actually aren't sucking properly. But it is sucking properly. And again, we're very, very lucky that this mommy is a really quiet girl. And once they've figured it out, then it's never a problem. Sometimes they drop the nipple and have a hard time figuring out how to get it back in. So if you just push the nipple towards their lips, they usually get it. But she's had a good go at it now. I'm going to quietly walk out so that hopefully I don't disturb either of them. This little lamb, Arnie said if he puts the wall up in the feeder, they can never get into the wrong pen. Well, this lamb broke the rules. All morning I tried to catch it on my own. You can't catch it. Way too fast. But it was crying and wanted his mom. And then I told Arnie if he's so good at catching them, he can go catch it. But guess what? He couldn't catch it either. So this is the new group here. These are all 90-some, 100-some ewes. And this one has 22 on her back, which means she has to be over here. It's a girl, so it's got to have red writing on her back. So somewhere in here is that lamb's mom. There he goes. That was like an hour-long chase down to get that lamb. And now he's with his mom. We don't know how it got in here. All we can think is that one of these ewes was standing by the gate here. And the lamb was on her back. As you've seen, they do get on the ewes' backs. And the ewe was maybe eating in the corner. The lamb was on the back and hopped over into the wrong pen. There's no other possible explanation for it. But you see, I noticed her because she has no tail. Usually you notice because someone's in poor shape. But there she is, nursing and nursing. She was screaming for her mom and has no tail. And then I saw she was at 22. So she had to be in this pen. and she's real happy to see her mom. And her mom's probably happy to see her too, because that's a chunky lamb, so I'm guessing that mom needed to be milked. Silly sheep. And the problem catching them when you got big moms like this with the littler lambs, you don't want to startle these moms into running over the little lambs. Pretty well everyone in this pen is a twin. Hi, Mommy. You're very pretty. So someone asked if we're downsizing, why we keep so many replacement lambs. And there is a reason for that. We keep about 10 to 20 ewe lambs from each breed back. So 10 to 20 Dorsets, 10 to 20 Suffolks. Each year, that's what we've been doing. We used to keep more back when we were in expansion mode. Now we're in downsizing mode. And for those of you who follow us regularly, you know that we're extremely attached to these sheep. So downsizing is a very hard decision, and it's not a nice decision for us. It just has to do with us being overwhelmed with the amount of work. It has nothing to do with us not liking the sheep. And so each year we have lambs, and we sell off pretty well. We have a good enough reputation now that all our ewe lambs are spoken for in advance, and they'll all go on to new homes, because there is always a high demand for good quality replacement ewe lambs for people wanting to expand their flocks, to get rid of maybe some of their old sheep and get some new good quality replacements, or maybe they have poorer quality and are wanting to upgrade the quality in their stock. So there's always a market for ewe lambs that are of a really high quality to go on to other farms. Likewise for good rams, people who already maybe have a good ewe flock, everybody always needs a ram every year. But the question was, why don't they buy my 300 ram lambs? Well, obviously 300 ewe lambs can go into just a couple of flocks and they're all sold. But 300 ram lambs is extremely unrealistic. You cannot sell that many breeding stock rams. For one thing, for them to be breeding stock quality, they can't just be average. They have to be above average, or they should be. And we're in the business of making above average sheep. So only our very top rams will get held back as breeding stock. And for, like, someone thought there'd be more demand for rams, but if I have 300 ram lambs, there are not in Canada probably 300 sheep farmers that require a ram. Well, there probably are. Say there's 1,000 sheep breeders in Canada. Like 300 would be like a third of the market. And so that's just not going to happen, because not everybody has Suffolk sheep or wants Suffolk sheep. So we average about 50 rams a year that get sold as breeding stock, and the rest have to go for market. Some get sold as pets. People will buy them and weather them, but those go to market. And the reason we hold back some ewe lambs every year, even though we're downsizing, is one, we're selling off our adults. We did last year, and we're going to do it again this year, and we're going to probably do it in the for the next few years anyway, selling off all our grades and unregisterable sheep so that we can get it down to just registered sheep, which is what we want to focus on, because we prefer the registered market because it's more friendly. We're kind of more attached maybe than the average sheep farmer is to their sheep. And we get great satisfaction in producing good quality sheep. Like, that's what makes us happy, that's what makes us tick. And so we need registered sheep for that. So we're going to continue on with that and find homes for the crosses and grades. And luckily we have found some really great people taking our sheep on. And that's how we're going to downsize. But when I say we're downsizing, it doesn't mean we're getting out. We're in here for the long haul. And the joy or the reward from all the work that we do and all the stresses we're under at lambing time is to be able to pick back those 20, 30, 40 ewe lambs so that we have something. That's our reward, those replacement ewe lambs for ourselves. For us, there's no reward in sending sheep to market. And when we get to that point, probably we'll be out of sheep completely, because for us, and it's just us, other people like to send their sheep to market, and it's about getting money for their high quality meat lambs. But for us, that's not what we are wanting. We're wanting to make high quality breeding stock that are going to go on and help improve other people's flocks and go on to live good lives with someone else. The meat market is the part that makes us both sad. And the more we're in the sheep industry and working with sheep, you would think it would be easier to send them to market, but it actually gets harder because we are way more interactive with the sheep now. We understand them now. We've been breeding long enough that we're at the quality we really like. And it just seems tragic to have reached this level and send them to meat, because I think we have a really good product here, and not a product that you want to be sending to slaughter, but a product that you are wanting to use to improve other people's flocks. Because even the commercial guys, in order to get those beautiful market lambs, you need beautiful rams as sires and beautiful ewes to create those sheep. So that's why we do it. That's why we always have replacement lambs. And when you watch us and find a year where we don't hold any lambs back, I'm going to say that that's probably the year when we're going to sell out and get rid of them all. Because, like I say, that is the reward for us. It's not getting a big paycheck or whatever at the end of the day. It's having a beautiful little flock that we can look at and say, we cried and we yelled at each other and we worked through the night, but this is why we did it. Like, this is the end product. This is what we love. So that's my tip on how you know what we're doing. But we are not getting out. We are just downsizing. So we were right. My girl in the white group had a lamb this morning. Just after I said nobody's lambing or doing anything, this little girl said, no, I'm going to have... You're sleeping on a placenta, sorry. There you go. There. So she's one of our little pets here. Hi. How you doing? You had a lammy. Here she is. Hi, what do you have here? It looks like you got a little girl. There she is. There she is. She's a first timer. Oh, Mommy, you should be proud. Is she beautiful? Yeah. Are you a purebred? Well, I'm going to have to scan this one and mark them. You look pretty snazzy. got something in your eye, sweetheart. There we go. She looks pretty proud. There she goes. It's funny how, like, even a first-timer, they have the instinct. They, hi, you look really nice. Because some mums, if the lambs get up, they'll get up. And you know the lamb wants to nurse. Now she's got... What?
A tattoo?
I can't see, but it's probably one that needs a tattoo. I need my reader and my red marker. It's actually orange. Hi, you had a lammy, and I can see that you're a pet one. I can see you're a pet. Do you want that lammy to nurse? Yeah. So since we just had a lamb, I guess that's a good way to end the day. And thank you for watching. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow for the next episode at Ewetopia Farms. Bye for now.